My relationship to Day of the Dead is that it started in Los Angeles during the Day of the Dead parades in Hollywood Forever, which is one of the biggest events there in Los Angeles. And growing up in LA, I saw it a lot, but didn't initially understand what it was. But I really loved the aesthetic. And then as I progressed and got older, I started learning more about the culture, where it came from, about the meaning of it. And then I was able to kind of find my own style of it, So my relationship to Day of the Dead is that this skull mask is what I made. It does represent death, but the smoke that I perform with represents life. And I created a performance that contrasts life and death. I did go to art school. I was a fine arts major, and during a critique with my instructor, he kind of challenged me to kind of create my own art. Because when you're a student, you are just looking for inspiration from anything. And I really like skulls. I really like Day of the Dead. And I was kind of drawing other artists' photos or artwork and kind of doing my own artwork on it. But what that does is that you're just repurposing other art. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to challenge myself to find my own image. So I took everything that I like and incorporated it into what I do now. And that's how I found my image. The process of creating a mask starts with a block of styrofoam. From there, I just basically start shaping it, and I take out a big part in the hole so that way my head can fit inside. And I finish molding it using body filler, which helps me shave it and create shapes. And I've been doing it for about 5 years, so I have a pretty good process on how to do it. So it seems really easy to me now, but in the beginning it was very hard. It took me maybe a year until I understood fully of how to use the material. When I started the mask and I started using the smoke grenades, the idea was that I was going to use photography and then create paintings and drawings from it. But as I started progressing and I started performing with the smoke, I realized that there was actually an artistic and a very high knowledgeable use for it. Like, I realized that there was a very hard technical aspect to it. And I started focusing more on how can I perform better, how can I create more masks, and it just transcended to where I am today. Growing up in Los Angeles, it's in East LA, in the San Fernando Valley, I grew up with a lot of Mexicans. And the skull mask is something that I always saw growing up. And it's something that always interested me, and I always liked and had a deep appreciation for. I'll be honest, when I first came out here, I didn't really know how people were going to respond to me, but the response has been amazing. And I'm very thankful that I have a lot of fans here. I have a lot of people who appreciate what I do. Coming here has given me a good sense of what I'm doing and the appreciation that it goes to for the people that I do it for out here, especially like when I performed at the Day of the Dead parade. I realized that the skull is a universal truth to everything, because underneath all of our skin is a skull, and I think that's the reason why so many people here connect to it. My mask is like a thinking helmet for me, but also a persona for me to be better than myself. My name is Butch Locsin. I'm a contemporary performance artist who performs with smoke grenades.